The Galactic Educational Symposium had never hosted a species quite like humanity before. In the crystalline halls of the orbital station above Kepler 442b, representatives from 47 civilized species gathered to discuss pedagogical standards across the stars. Ambassador Felix Chen sat at the human delegation table, trying not to laugh as the Zetharian education minister recoiled in horror. "You teach your juveniles to create combustion." "Deliberately?" The minister's translator struggled with the concept, her gill slits fluttering in distress. "It's just basic survival training," Felix explained, pulling up a holographic display. "Fire starting, shelter construction, water purification. Standard curriculum for most human children by age 10. The Valorian representative, a being of pure crystallized thought, pulsed an alarmed shade of crimson. "Your world must be extraordinarily hostile. Our condolences." Emily Rodriguez, the human education specialist, leaned forward with a grin.
"Actually, Earth is classified as a Paradise Class 7 world."
"We just like to be prepared." A murmur rippled through the assembly. Paradise worlds were rare, lush, temperate, rich in resources. Species from such worlds typically developed the most pacifistic, specialized civilizations in the galaxy. They certainly didn't teach their children to weaponize their environment. The Corthan delegate, resembling a floating jellyfish in a containment suit, spoke next. "Perhaps we misunderstand. This fire creation skill, it is taught in specialized military academies, yes? For your warrior caste? No," Emily said, bringing up footage from a summer camp on Earth. Alien eyes widened as they watched human children, barely past their juvenile stage, rubbing sticks together, building fires, cooking food over open flames. "This is from a recreational education program. Kids go there for fun during their rest cycle from standard schooling." "Fun," the Zetharian minister repeated flatly. "Your offspring consider survival training entertainment." Felix nodded enthusiastically. "Some of the most popular children's organizations on Earth are entirely built around outdoor survival skills. Camping, hiking, navigating by stars, identifying edible plants, building shelters from natural materials. We have millions of young humans who do this voluntarily, while simultaneously studying advanced mathematics and linguistic systems." The Valorian's pulse had shifted to confused orange. "Of course," Emily confirmed. "By age 12, most human children can perform complex algebraic equations, write analytical essays in at least one language, program basic computer code, and yes, start a fire with friction, identify poisonous flora, and construct a watertight shelter using only materials found in nature." The Galactic Education Committee's chair being an ancient Quilon whose species had achieved spaceflight through pure mathematical genius, spoke for the first time. "This seems inefficient. Our research indicates that educational specialization produces optimal results. Your human children study generalized survival skills that the vast majority will never utilize, while also pursuing advanced academics. This must create significant cognitive strain." Felix and Emily exchanged glances. This was the reaction they had anticipated. "May I present a case study?" Emily asked. The committee gestured approval and she pulled up a new display. 3 months ago, a human colony ship, the Perseverance, experienced catastrophic system failures in the outer rim. The ship crashed on an uncharted Class 4 world, marginally habitable, no indigenous technology, hostile environment. The assembly leaned in. Such disasters were tragic but not uncommon in the expansion era. The crew complement included 73 adults and 42 children, ages 5 to 16 by human reckoning. Rescue would take 4 months minimum. Emily's fingers danced across her interface. The survival rate predictions from our AI were not optimistic. 37% expected survival. "Tragic," murmured the Corthan delegate. "To lose so many young ones." "They didn't lose anyone," Felix interjected. 100% survival rate. When rescue arrived, they found the colonists had established a functional settlement with permanent structures, clean water systems, sustainable food sources through hunting and agriculture, and even rudimentary medical facilities. Stunned silence filled the hall. "The children," Emily continued, "organized themselves into work teams. The older ones taught the younger ones. They started fires for warmth and cooking. They built shelter. They created water filtration systems from salvaged materials and natural resources. While the adults handled the complex tasks like medical care and long-term planning, the children's fundamental survival skills, meant they could immediately contribute to the colony's survival, rather than being liabilities requiring protection. The Valorian pulsed rapidly through several colors, processing this information. The juveniles were assets in a survival scenario. Human children are remarkably capable when properly educated, Felix said. We don't just teach them to think, we teach them to do. Math helps them calculate trajectories and ratios. Reading gives them access to accumulated knowledge. But knowing how to start a fire means they'll never freeze. Understanding edible plants means they'll never starve. These aren't separate skills, they're integrated knowledge. The Zetharian minister's gills had stopped fluttering. On my world, our young would have perished within days in such circumstances. We have evolved past the need for such primitive capabilities, have you, though? Emily asked gently. Or have you simply created systems so specialized that failure becomes catastrophic? Humans learned a long time ago that redundancy saves lives. We kept our primitive skills even as we reached for the stars because we never know when we might need them again. The Quellan chair being was silent for a long moment. Finally, she spoke, her voice carrying the weight of centuries. You are saying that human education philosophy embraces both advancement and regression simultaneously. You reach forward while keeping one hand on the past. Exactly, Felix confirmed. We call it balanced knowledge. Every human child learns both cutting-edge science and ancient survival techniques. It makes us adaptable, resilient. We can thrive in a gleaming space station or a primitive wilderness with equal capability. The Corthan delegate floated forward slightly. This is why human colonies have the highest survival rates in hostile territories. This is why human explorers venture into regions other species avoid. You are all trained as survivors from childhood. Emily smiled. We're trained as humans. And humans don't just survive. We thrive anywhere we choose to plant our feet, whether that's with advanced technology or just 2 sticks and determination. The symposium continued for another 3 hours, but the tone had shifted. By the end, 7 species had requested detailed human educational curricula. The Zetharians were particularly interested in establishing a cultural exchange program. As they walked back to their quarters, Felix chuckled. Think they'll actually implement it? Emily shrugged. Maybe. Or maybe they'll just understand us a little better. Either way, I think we made our point. That humans are crazy enough to teach children fire starting? That humans are smart enough to teach children everything they might need whether they're on a space station or stranded on a hostile world. She grinned. We prepare for the best and the worst every single day. Felix nodded, thinking of his own childhood camping trips, the pride of starting his first fire at age 9. Humanity, fuck yeah. Exactly, Emily laughed. Humanity, fuck yeah.